Hello everyone, I'm Vinay Vuchkuru. I'm a Senior Agriculture Specialist with the World Bank Delhi office. Today I'd like to talk about how through a bank project, the Bihar Rural Livelihoods project, we've been able to tackle a very complex development challenge in India. So let me start by describing the context in Bihar when the project implementation was initiated way back in 2007. So Bihar, if you look at it, the population is about 100 million. So if it were a country, it would be the size of Philippines. But in terms of the GDP per capita, just to provide the context, it would be equivalent to an Eritrea. So clearly, in terms of GDP per capita, if Bihar were a country, it would be less than many sub-Saharan countries like say Rwanda or Ethiopia. The poverty rates, in Bihar are currently about 42%. The national average is just about 22%. So clearly, this is a state which has massive levels of poverty, but it is clear the third largest state in India. So if we have to make significant progress in terms of the Millennium Development Goals, we need to tackle the poverty issue in Bihar. Now, it is in this context that the bank project was initiated in 2007. A new government was in place. So, the approach was to mobilize women into self-help groups and their federations and build their capacity and ensure that they have access, on one hand, to financial services, on the other hand, access to productivity enhancement services and market linkages in agriculture, livestock and non-farm sector, access to jobs for the youth of these SHG members, and also access to the public sector. So the idea was you build these SHGs and their federations, we call them the institutions of the poor, and really enhance their capacity to be able to do all these things, which is deal with the commercial banks and get access to financial services, deal with the markets and get access to all the productivity enhancement and market linkages, and to have the interface with the government and get access to safety nets and entitlements. So this was the approach that was basically planned. But in order to implement this kind of multi-sectoral, multi-dimensional approach, it was critical to have a highly professional team to implement this initiative. And that is why the government of Bihar agreed to create a new institution called the Bihar Rural Livelihood Promotion Society. And I think the innovation was to really ensure that the authorizing environment in terms of backing from the highest political leadership and the bureaucracy was leveraged and was got by active dialoguing with the political leadership at the highest levels and the bureaucracy at the highest levels. Once this authorizing environment was really achieved, then it allowed BRLPS, locally called Jivika, to recruit professionals from the market at competitive salaries and also to create an HR system to retain them. The other innovation was that BRLPS went out and recruited nearly 300 young professionals from some of the best management institutions to come and work there at the cutting edge level. So these institutional innovations allowed a very high quality human resources to go out and implement the approach that I've just talked about. So today, in terms of results, we have nearly 4.5 million women mobilized into self-help groups, nearly 350,000 of them. All these 350,000 self-help groups have a bank account and are able to access savings and credit from the commercial banks. Nearly $100 million of credit has been accessed by these 4.5 million women because of the work that the project has done. Nearly 400,000 SHG members have been able to enhance their productivity in rice and wheat by more than 70% through better agriculture technologies and extension services. nearly 50,000 dairy farmers have been able to increase the price realization by more than 30% because of the market linkage. We have 50,000 SHG members taking a backyard poultry and earning an additional income of almost $1 a day because of the backyard poultry intervention. So these are the kinds of results that have been achieved because of the approach that I just talked about. I think from the bank side, one big innovation that was carried out to enable these kind of results was the intensity of the technical assistance that was offered to the government in implementing the project was of very, very high order. We had short focused missions almost on a monthly basis coming from the bank's technical expert team. In addition, the task team decided that they will place a consultant at the local state headquarters to almost provide 24/7 technical assistance to the state team in implementing this project. I think all these factors contributed to the kinds of results and outputs that I've just described. I think going forward, we are very, very hopeful that the project will be further scaled up. Potentially 10 million women are going to be mobilized into these institutional architecture, and we are hoping that the project will further deepen initiatives related to access to markets and jobs for the youth, and also enhance interventions related to health and nutrition security. And the bank is committed in supporting this scale up of the government of Bihar. For this kind of complex multi-sectoral initiative to be implemented in the way it should be, buy-in and ownership of the political leadership is absolutely critical. As a task team, we really made a lot of efforts to reach out to the political leadership and get their buy-in. In fact, the Chief Minister and the Deputy Chief Minister actually visited other states where this kind of an initiative has worked, and that's how they really got convinced that they need to invest on this model and then scale it up. So I think getting the buy-in and ownership of the political leadership is absolutely critical. Number two, getting high quality professionals, human resources is again very, very important if you have to take on development challenges in this context of resource constrained state. And I think this is another big lesson which other development agencies, and if you want to do similar work in other contexts, it will be extremely useful. Thank you.